اللهم إني أعوذ بجاه وجهك الكريم من كل شيطان. And welcome back into the afternoon jam. We're about at the tail end of the show, but I have a special guest with us today, Professor Vali Padiachi. Now, what he does is he's the power and energy expert and former executive manager of Eskom and a former senior executive of the City Power in Johannesburg. Now, Eskom has announced its group annual results for the 2024 financial year, covering the 1st of April 2024 to the 31st of March 2024. The power utility said that this period marked one of the most challenging moments in the history of the company, given the urgent need to deliver the generational recovery plan to address the South Africans' emergency crisis. On the line right here, you can join us on our Facebook and Instagram Live. We have Professor Padiachi. How are you doing today, sir?
Good afternoon, Ted. Good afternoon, Ted, to you and your listeners and viewers. I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on, but obviously it is great to have you on here, sir, so you can furthermore explain the situation that's going on in Eskom. Now, Eskom reported yesterday that one of the key challenges that delayed the publication of its financial year in 2024 results was related to the bulk generation of illegally prepaid electricity and tokens of Eskom's online vending system for the prepaid meters. What is the background of this challenge that Eskom is referring to? Professor?
Thanks, Ted, for that question. I think it's an important question. Yes, according to Eskom, electricity theft through illegal connections, meter tampering, and the use of illegal tokens reduced their sales by about 8%. Now, let's talk in terms of numbers. This year equated to an impact of about 23 billion rands, 23 billion, not million, on potential revenue. And if you look at load shedding, it cost Eskom 22 billion rand. So this illegal tampering was more than the load shedding, which is actually quite worrying. And of course, one of the main reasons for that is collusion, according to Eskom, and there's a forensic investigation currently on the go to establish more of the details of that, Ted.
All right. Thank you for answering that, because it has been boggling around in my mind. But dysfunctional energy utility leads to an economy decline. Eskom made this comment in the presentation in relation to its poor performance in 2024 financial year. Can you elaborate on that in any sort of facility?
Yes, maybe just to preface my comments, bearing in mind that Eskom is reporting 9 months late. So 9 months late, they're reporting bad news, or they're forced to report bad news, while at the same time there is some good performance. So I want to put that up front. But in terms of the bad performance, which is required to do in terms of the law and procedures, there was, and as you know, for the financial year 2024, there was 329 days of load shedding, right?
Yeah.
The worst in record. And we'll talk about the new good performance. The open cycle gas turbines, they spent about 34 billion rand. And then the loss before taxation was about 25.5 billion rand. And the loss after tax was a staggering 55 billion rand. And the municipal rear debt escalated to 74 billion rand. And that's estimated to go up to 110 billion rand in March. And then, of course, Eskom, the chairman and the CEO and the minister talked a lot about the lack of internal controls, which the auditors have picked up. Ted.
Wow. I'm pretty sure that so many people didn't know that it was at that stage and at that drastic level. Now, Eskom is very bullish about its performance for the 2025 financial year. I mean, it's hard for me to wrap that around after the numbers you just told us. And going forward, given all all of the load shedding as it also has stopped. Do you share this optimism with Eskom?
Yes, I would share the optimism. Remember, I come from Eskom and I've been in the sector for many, many decades. So from experience, I share the optimism, but I would also caution that there are some inherent systemic risks, which I will talk about this now, that could come back to bite Eskom. Now, that said, the good news is that the minister has reported today that about 272 days of continuous steady electricity supply. So that's the good news. And there've been about significant savings on the open cycle gas turbines. So they only used just a big money, about 12 billion rand. And they're estimating to make a profit. I repeat, they will be making a profit in the financial year 2025, and they estimate that to be about 10 billion rand. And of course, Eskom will be enforcing discipline and adherence to internal control. So that's at a high level, the prognosis for the financial year 2025, which will start from April 1st, 2025, and go to the following year, March. And remember, the reporting for 2024 started from April 2023 to March 2024.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Oh. I mean, when you put it like that, you do kind of have a hint of hope left in us. So maybe it's not all lost yet. But Professor,
no. I'm happy it changed. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just saying I'm confident it'll change for the good, but we just got to keep our finger on the pulse and not take the foot off the pedal.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Now, we've unfortunately come towards the end of our interview, but I hope we can get you on again because I have 1,000 more questions to go on. But our last question for today is, Eskom has also reported that it is facing severe systematic issues with requiring serious attention and focus to resolve this. Can you elaborate in any way of a statement? And do you think all of the issues can be resolved?
Yes, I think in the interest of time, as you say that we don't have much time, they have a number of systemic risks. Systemic risks means risk covering the entire company, right? So not any specific issue. And this is mainly in the operational area, financial area, sustainable issues. And some of the issues include the unreliable generation plant. So there's been good performance, but there are some plants that's unreliable on the coal side. The tariffs, the prices, which will be very topical, are not reflective, prudent, and efficient, and we have a vertically outdated integrated business model. So those need to change, and I think they can be resolved, but it needs a lot of time and effort, and also needs a lot of money, Ted, and needs a lot of political will, which I think there is. And needs patience. I know the people have been patient, but the greatest risk, Ted, is the term that I've coined, a final point, is that the Eskom and the municipality transmission grid and the distribution grid is severely constipated and needs to be drastically deconstipated. My final parting shot, Ted.
Thank you so much, Professor. It was an absolute pleasure. I wish we had more time, but I'm sure we'll get you again soon. And hey, maybe you could, I know you have a busy schedule, but maybe you could make your way down to the souk, and I know there will be an array of people who will be waiting and would love to have pick your mind on Eskom's current situation right now. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure, and have a very safe and relaxing festive season, Ted. To you and the
thank you.
You and the viewers and the listeners.
Thank you so much, Professor. That was Professor Padiachi. He is the power and energy expert and former executive manager of Eskom and the former senior executive of the City Power in Johannesburg. Unfortunately, we have to end the show there. I know we all have 1,000 more questions about Eskom that we can't answer, but maybe when we have Professor back on the show again, we can unload all of those questions that we have. But from me and the Afternoon Jam team, we say no to drugs, respect your parents, and be the best that you can be. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It is brought to you by Bake Ermelo, a brand new addition to the Docrat crew.
And also, finally, a reminder of a scheduled long-term closure in the Pietermaritzburg, joining from the Allen Payton ramp, joining the M3 towards Durban, will be fully closed at the Blackborough Road from the 27th of October to the 1st of November 2025. My name is Ted, reminding you to keep it safe on the roads.
This traffic update is brought to you by Bake Ermelo, a brand new